So if there are questions for any of, for Paul or I, from folks that are here, if you could just state your name and who you're with, and we're happy to answer them.
I have a question. How's your fundraising going?
It's going very well. You know, one of the things that comes across loud and clear when you look at the FEC reports, now this is a part of a huge transparency effort underway, which still needs to be reformed. When you look at my contributions versus my opponent, more than 60% of his come from special interests in the last quarter. So he's being funded by all of these folks from Wall Street and big banks in the insurance industry, and individuals, 3 to 1. I have 3 times more individuals supporting my campaign. That shows you the broad range of support that I have for the things that I'm talking about, and getting our economy back and just making sure that America comes first before the special interests. And I think there's much work to be done to make sure we continue in that effort, but I am very pleased and proud and humbled by the outpouring of support that I've had. Yeah?
Are you with a party?
Democratic Party. That's an easy one.
Well, I gather you weren't a Republican, but I wasn't sure if you were Democrat or Independent.
Other?
I'm the chairman of the Democratic Party. That's why I showed up here.
What was your name?
Peg Schaefer. And Mayor Allen is here. Councilman Stabile. Councilman Getty.
I like the last questions. Yeah.
Josh Solomon, Westfield Patch. You know, why North Plainfield? Are you from here?
Yeah, I live just down the block, walking distance. And in addition, I think there couldn't really be a better backdrop to highlight, you know, the energy that entrepreneurs have, their willingness to take risks. You know, times are very tough, and if we're going to look at who is going to help us in uncertain, insecure moments, folks that are willing to take a risk like Paul is, are the ones that are going to get us out of this recession. And we have to do everything we can to make sure he has the support from federal legislators in Congress, and as well as the community here in North Plainfield. Yeah?
Ray Edison. I've heard you had experience in Washington. If you can elaborate on that a little more.
I did. I spent a brief period of time as an Albert Einstein Fellow in Washington, working on education policy, environmental policy. It's a program for math and science teachers to take their classroom experience and shape the policies in Washington. And I think it's so critical that we have real-world experience. The policies that are being developed are often being hijacked by these political, partisan conversations. And you know, when you have had experience on the day-to-day struggles of the middle class, you understand how detrimental special interests could be in moving our country forward. And so I plan on taking that real-world experience and helping us to get our edge back.
I have a question for you, Ed.
Oh, Paul, tough one.
No, it's good. It's not a tough one. As businesses like mine start to take off and we start to do the right things, sustainable, renewable resources, sustainable energy, are you going to be there to help us in Congress to get the things we need from the federal government, the investments in renewable resources and sustainable energy that are so important?
Absolutely. Having a sustainable energy economy is our future. That's one of the ways we're going to really help to get our edge back. Making sure that we're investing in the right things that are going to help us to have clean water and clean air and clean land so our future generations can live and thrive, I think they're not mutually exclusive, and in fact should be a major component of how we work to get our economy moving and get our edge back. So you can count on me from this day forward, like people have in the past as well. And I look forward to helping more of Paul, because I'm telling you, there's a list of businesses, not just here, but across this nation, that are waiting just for the opportunity to fulfill their dreams. And those dreams are our dreams, because not only do they help them and their families and make sure that they can have the money that they need to survive, but they go beyond in the families that they employ and the communities that they impact. And in positive ways like Paul is doing, but a closed system, there are probably dozens more businesses like his that'll have a very positive impact on our community. And I want to thank you all for coming. Happy to answer other questions that you might have, sort of mulling around. I think there are some coffee cups, and Paul has been nice.
Want any drinks? There's cold drinks in the refrigerator. You can help yourself. If you need coffee, Jessica and Isaac will be happy to get you a cup of coffee. Thank you all for coming.
And there's some tools in the back if you want to help out.
We could do some gardening, and we could do some sweeping in the back.
That's my plan. So thank you all again.
That's cool.
Thank you, Ed.
Picked him in some, there were other people interested in running early on. So the primary opponent, right, by the time we got to the primary, he did not. There were other people interested in the positions. They were screened, and then Union County, Hunterdon County, and Somerset County all came out in favor of that.
Middlesex County too.
Middlesex, sorry. Sorry, I always forget that it goes to Middlesex a little bit.
I think what you see in the Republican primary, the message isn't that it's more of a Republican district. I think what you see is there's a dissatisfaction with lands among Republicans, but I think that's what that refers. It doesn't refer that it's a Republican district because there was dissension and people vying for the seat. They were vying because there's disappointment.
Yeah.
Which I think is a little different.
Which may give you an edge because they're disappointed in less.
Yeah, I mean, there were lots of times in this congressional district where there was, on the Democratic side, huge battles for the nominee. That's counties, that split parties, that split relationships. So I think historically, as you look back, this year was just more about lands than it was about the district as a whole. Anything else?
Yes, I wanted to ask a lot of like what are you going to do to kind of incorporate like people of different political viewpoints into your policies? Like what are you going to try to do to encourage bipartisanship?
I think you look at the policy itself rather than the party of the person who authored it. And I think there are good ideas that come out of both parties, and you have to embrace them when they do. And that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Briefly cover your agenda here. What do you plan on doing about education? I know you're a teacher. You spoke about education. What specific things are you looking to do down here?
Well, our future is in our classrooms, and so education is extremely important to our economy, to the strength of America, to our ability to be a leader in the world economy. And the 7th Congressional District, New Jersey, we have the best schools in the nation, and I want to help make them better. I want to make sure that every student in our state and every student in our country has access to a high-quality education. And even though we graduate more students from our high schools than any other state, there's still an awful lot of students who are not graduating. And I don't know where to look.
There's a little post, right? Just
Negative.
Don't worry about the podium. The podium's not.
You got a good coach. I love you trying to think as an outsider. What's up? Yes. I mean, I brought it up because I thought he mentioned his fellowship.